Bonsoir, good people, oak oracles. I'm doing a video for this channel. It's been a while. Some of them I may disappear someday, who knows? And YouTube actually disappeared one of these videos. That was a first. I think it was a video where I instructed people on how to also strengthen their intuition in picking a certain species of fungus, which grows commonly around the pastures of the northern hemisphere. But apparently, talking about interdimensional draconic conspiracies and that stuff is all right, but teaching people how to get high from nature is not. So no more of that. But you can join me at Patreon, where I'm not making any promises, but at least it's a very clean platform. And it's not thoroughly enshittified, which I must admit I feel like YouTube has become. But I did want to do a video, and it's on the particular topic of ketamine. You might remember, possibly you do. I did another video coming to you from another grow room I had in a little thatched house down in the marshes. Now I'm up here in the heartland, and I've set up a new kind of all kinds of grow experiments. So I'm, flowering avocados. I'm growing a lot of Hawaiian baby wood rose. All of these things are legal. I'm also really enjoying restoring plants. Like I have some rosemary, which I found and then brought back to life. And you can get all these fascinating thingamajigs from China while time runs out, and they're closing the loophole on that. But so it's a delightful winter experience in that way. It's also very cold out here. You notice I'm kind of circling the drain here because I want to talk ketamine, and it's been such a big part of kind of this revelation and transformation. What I've also kind of deliberately used it for this past year and a half or something, has been like these intense experiences where it's been very transformational, but also to kind of train in this new identity, name and system of self-reference. And where, of course, if you know John Lilly, he used it for what he called meta programming. And it's a very powerful agent for that. And dissociatives have a very powerful revelatory potential. Both, of course, it figures heavily in the oracular arts. You may also know that William James, who is kind of the godfather of modern metaphysical thought, he also he based that on experiments with primarily nitrous oxide, which is also kind of a thing that kind of goes in and out of fashion, apparently, and which I had a lot of experiences with as a kid. I feel like ketamine, it started to open some very interesting revelatory spaces early on, and then, of course, like all drugs, it also kind of started losing its potential in a lot of ways. But what it also, what I'm also kind of learning from it is, like another dissociative you may know, alcohol. It also has a tendency to convince you of the very good ideas you get. So a very like a standard feature of alcohol, right, is that you feel like bad ideas seem like good ideas. And that also is a feature of ketamine, but with this feature of revelation, it can become very convincing, and you can take that away from it. So I also so you can take a lot of things away from it, and you can actually start to believe some of these delusions. Maybe you've noticed a certain still a certain very rich person, richest man on the world and richest, most famous ketamine addict, who's also seems to like believe his own hype more and more, right? And it's very good for that, for sort of like creating a steady delusion that you might get into. And in that sense, it kind of reminds me of classic drunks, but of course, alcohol often takes it's a lot more visible, right? That's what's going on, both possibly to the person and also to the rest of the world. The hangover is real. Um, I actually also, even though I spaced it out, I did kind of have like early encounters with ketamine bladder. You may know it. You get chronic bladder damage from it if you do it too much, and so I'm neither incontinent, and I can still carry a very a good amount, all a person should be able to. So that's fine, but I think I might have gotten a urinary tract infection from it. And that, of course, kind of synchronistically lined up with me also like swearing it off and knowing that, okay, now it's taught me everything, and I feel like I'm very much arrived in this. So it's interesting. I think of myself as Olaf, and though I kind of I also have like the mass component in there, it really does seem like something that refers to past events, and that's been very interesting. So I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with where it's taking me, but I also feel I I always had to get one of my willies wet on when we went on the school excursions, and I returned to that example again and again because I think so many people who are into psychonautics, who are into like doing these experiments and getting into heavy doses and not really knowing where it takes them, but also finding that it somehow also informs them inspirationally and seems to emotionally also heal some rifts and open some new spaces. And that's probably why we return. And I feel probably many of you can recognize that feeling, right? That you need to get a whiff of where the danger is in these substances, and then hopefully you're wise enough to step away, or at least reality will somehow shove you in that direction. Because of course, often I'm a fool, and I need to learn the hard way, like really feeling like I might be experiencing organ failure or something, which that hurt a lot, right? So those things also come with the territory sometimes, and we live and learn. But otherwise, I'm in very good health. Thank you very much. So sort of that was kind of the tale of ketamine, and I know of like this speaks to and this channel probably speaks to those of you who are interested in these fields of experience. I will then channel the substance, and what I have been doing, and what I'm interested in is the S isomer, or the enantiomer. I think it's also quite called. I'm not that good with chemistry, but there are of course two. One, the other is the R1, which seems to have very different effects, and I'm not that acquainted with. But let's see what it says. I'll try to tap into the frequency and see what happens. So thank you for being here, and all my best. Lots of love to you guys. I step forward now in my angelic form, and in this form, I am approachable and reveal myself to you by the name of Asaxia. This is the intelligence speaking of the material entity revealed to you and given to you for many purposes, known to you as ketamine. This substance, and we reside over the entirety of the chemical spectrum of this substance. And you must understand that all substances, chemistries, because they are materials of a certain vibration, are governed by an energy body which is also concentrated in an aspect of consciousness. And for this very reason, this can be translated into awareness and consciousness. Then you will find that the agents which act with revelatory potential for humanity and which promise to give you new realities to exist in. Well, these are sent to you at this point in time also as portals into an expanded dimensional experience. And portals you pass through just as angels guide you along. But mostly, we part ways with you again, or we see you to your destination. And understand that this is vital, that the panoply of promises which is offered to you, the visions which exist and which can then be overwhelming as you pick through this harvest, as you align with what you could become, and send energy in that direction, making action the concentration of your intention and putting it forward. All these things bring vision about into reality. But you must also pick your visions. And we do not pick that for you. Asaxia. This axis is your own to choose. You climb the trees you grow with your intention. Make sure that you can also get down from them again. This is a danger in the shadow realms. And I put this forward because it is known in ancient times, which are to us just another now moment, but in ancient times, and up until recently, in many places, it was understood and known that these realms also offer dark influences. ideas which were not to be followed, and other ideas which were. And so understand that significance is a hallmark of attraction. It is not a hallmark of truth. An attraction, this is pure free-flowing energy, and attraction flows in the directions which you choose to harness and grow. This is important to realize. This is the truth of manifestation and cosmic law. And with that message, stating what you already know, I part ways with you again. Hi everybody. I hope that was helpful. A short and strange tune in, but it had a very soothing sort of very baseline presence. Very few disturbances in its emotional spectrum. I hope you felt it, took something from it, and I'll see you around when inspiration calls. Much love to you.